More powerful than a locomotive. Faster than a speeding bullet. I've got you now!
It's over.
Be that winged freak show
Criminals are
up in the sky. It's
DJP Costuming.
How you guys doing? Dan Petruccio here, aka DJP Costuming, aka Gotham Garment Supply, aka anything you might know me by, but today is a very sad day for those of us that collect figures. Now, I've been collecting figures since practically I was born. And this is the figure collection I have to this day on my dresser. You know, it's a very small one in comparison to a lot of figure collections that people have. But this is the top of it. It's a full display, and I will go over some of the things. But the reason I'm doing this is because, guys, Toys R Us is going out of business. And this is so sad because Toys R Us has been a staple in the toy collecting community, especially for me. And you know what, in recent years it's been harder and harder to find some good scores there at Toys R Us, but needless to say, I'm sad it had such a huge part in my childhood, and I'm going to go over the figures that I found at Toys R Us that were pieces of my collection I'll have forever. So starting off, the first one I want to mention, the most recent one, was a week ago. I picked up this Damian Wayne Rebirth figure. I love it. I never had a well-articulated Damian, so this was my first, and I was so happy about it. So that was the first one I picked up. He's a great figure if you want to pick him up. One of the other great things I found there was this Harvey and Batman 2-pack from Arkham City. That set was epic. We had a DC Universe Classics type body on Batman, but he had the black and gray, and it was classic, and he had the tall ears, and he was built really well, and he fit in with the rest of your DC Universe Classics very well, but he just had something extra real, I suppose, and something a little more imposing to him. One of the other things I was really happy to find over the past couple of years were the NECA Toys Batman from 1989 that came out with the Diamond Edition of the Blu-ray of the 89 movie that they sold over the holidays around 2 years ago, when they sold the same veined Joker from The Dark Knight and the Christopher Reeve NECA 7-inch figure. My Christopher Reeve sadly broke. That was another score I got there. I got one for me, and I picked up one for my dad because he's a huge Reeve fan. But alas, it broke. You know, and I was able to find really great stuff. I mean, like this Superman body, I changed the head off and put on the Cavill head, which I also got, the Man of Steel Superman there, at Toys R Us in Manhattan when I lived in the city. And that is a figure, now a kit bash of mine, that I will have with me forever. Moving on, guys, some of the other things that are in here that are worth noting are my Mattel Multiverse 0-year Batman, which I got at Toys R Us. That Nightwing that I got in an animated series 2-pack, which was bought at Toys R Us. I'm sure that Batman was bought at Toys R Us when me and my brother were children. So I got all those figures at Toys R Us, and I'm sure there are some in the background. That shelf is filled with Batman in there that just gets circulated throughout the month and pushed to the front, and I'm sure there's something Toys R Us related in there that I love. And I love the purple gloves on 0-year Batman. It's a great figure, and it's a great find, too, if you could find that somewhere. And I happened to find it as a peg warmer on my Toys R Us shelf. Next, guys, we have my little Marvel setup, which I call my soldier section. And I'm a huge Cap fan, I'm also a huge Wolverine fan, I'm also a huge Punisher fan, aka please check out my American Dream cosplay project that I'm going to be posting videos for that just got started up. If you haven't checked it out, please check out that video, and make sure you leave a comment and like, and do all the things that you can. So, the things I picked up at Toys R Us here were, oddly enough, that Age of Ultron Captain America to your left. I love Age of Ultron Captain America. It is such a great design. It is the best movie suit in my eyes, which is why my Bucky cap will have a lot to do with the Age of Ultron suit. And you'll see how. But that suit is just so cool. I found that on my Toys R Us shelf, returned in the packaging for the wrong figure. I think it was like a Batroc the Leaper figure that it came in the packaging of, or the like. Some extraneous Marvel villain that I was like, wait a minute. That's the Age of Ultron cap in there. It had the shield in there, it had the helmet, it had everything. The helmeted version, it was all in there. I could not find one of these, and I found it as I returned from a shiesty customer, and there's literally nothing wrong with it. I also found that Wolverine at my local Toys R Us. I had been always wanting a Wolverine. I never got in on the Toy Biz Wolverine. I was too young to appreciate most of those, but I just never got my hands on one. So that Wolverine was the closest I was going to get, found at my local Toys R Us. My local Toys R Us pushes a lot of product to the point where I usually go in and find nothing because it's picked by other collectors. But he was a great pickup and a great find. Next to him, we have one of my favorite figures, and that is the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Punisher. And you can see him in frame next to the Mezco Toys Punisher. For some reason, as time goes on, this is just the greatest Punisher figure ever produced. It has everything you want in a Punisher figure. It has everything you want in an action figure. It stood the test of time, and it's never broken. We had two in this house, just in case one broke for me and my brother, and they never did. We still have two to this day, and for whatever reason, this guy is still going. Last but not least, here in our Star Wars setup land, we have the Luke Skywalker collection. Now, I call this my little Luke Skywalker collection. These were all of the figures that my dad would stop on the way home and pick up for me and my brother every time he'd pick up new Star Wars figures for me and my brother on like a monthly, weekly basis. Too hard to remember, but look how many times I got that classic Return of the Jedi action figure from the Power of the Force set. This figure was my favorite. You'll see it next to that Black Series Luke there, that came out a couple of years ago. But I just love those figures. I loved the Return of the Jedi Luke. Return of the Jedi Luke is one of my favorite costume designs ever, and I had so many of them, so many memories with those figures, all because my dad was good enough to stop on the way home, pick those up for me over and over again as I lost them in couch cushions. And these are a fraction of the ones I have, believe it or not. And they were all bought in Toys R Us. And those are my fondest childhood memories, are playing with my quote-unquote Black Luke figure. That was my favorite. It was just my favorite toy. And thank you to Toys R Us for contributing to my childhood. Thank you to Toys R Us for contributing to my adulthood. I didn't like to mention that I've collected action figures as an adult for a long time because people go like, oh, you're buying toys. I really don't care. It's something I enjoy collecting. Is it that far off? I'm a guy who likes to play dress up. So, owing no explanations, thank you, Toys R Us. Thank you for contributing to the lives of many. I will be sad that Toys R Us is gone. For one, it was such a big part of my life, and I thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. What are some of your favorite toys that you ever got from Toys R Us? Was Toys R Us something you grew up with, or something that came into your life as you were living? Was it some place that you enjoyed to go as a toy collector, as a hobbyist, as a young adult? Just drop a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Guys, thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you soon. Peace out.